Yeah. Do we care about these wide receiver holdouts? Tee Higgins, Justin Jefferson.
Like Jefferson's going to get signed. I don't care about that.
Right.
Like you listen to all of them talk all offseason. They're like, we're going to pay him. He's the best receiver in the NFL. We know that. The Tee Higgins one is really interesting to me, but I think they end up keeping him this year. I don't know why you wouldn't if you're Cincinnati. At least go for one more run with this core and then see what happens after the season. But if they end up without Tee Higgins going into the season, that's a disaster. Like we're talking about the most confounding off seasons. Like put the Bengals at the top of the list if they lose Tee Higgins between now and September.
Right. And I think with T, I'm with you. You just got to give it one more shot. But also, like, if you look at their cap situation, they're in a spot where they can pay T if they want to, and pay Jamar. You've already paid Burrow, and they don't really have a whole lot of other big contracts that would make this like a challenging situation to piece together because it doesn't seem like they have any intentions on, giving Trey Hendrickson what he wants on the defensive side of the ball. And when you start looking on that side of the ball, they don't really have too many big contracts. So like the fact that this is still like an issue for them, knowing that this offense has largely been successful because of like a player-led movement on the field. I don't know. I don't really get what they're doing.
Just do the Peyton Manning thing. Like, do the Peyton Manning, Reggie Wade, Marvin Harrison, and just be the Colts of this generation. I don't see what's the problem with that. I think, like, in Joe Burrow, you have a quarterback where, we've seen him work around a bad offensive line. We know the stress those two guys on the outside put on a defense. And like you said, they haven't been drafting well on defense lately, so they have nobody to pay. I can't really think of anyone on the offensive line they have to pay. Like, just pay them. Don't let good players leave the building. You found a blue chip player. I think he was a second round pick. Like, why would you let that leave the building, especially someone with such good chemistry? And, like, his game meshes so perfectly with what Joe Burrow wants to do, like the back shoulder fades, the contested balls, the perfect ball placement. I really don't understand even letting it get this far, get to this point. I would have signed him last year.
Yeah, but they're the Bengals. I feel like we've talked about for the entire time that I've been watching the NFL, just them being cheap and not wanting to actually just like put a foot forward and get things done early. But I don't know. This makes no sense. But I do think you got to give it one last run before you end up trading him because, especially now that we're after the draft, like what's the point? What's the point?
In our little Madden franchise, we have an online Madden franchise we're both in. I traded Tee Higgins last year to Nate Tice, and then he beat me. And Tee Higgins went off for 100 yards. So that's my advice to the Bengals. That's my cautionary tale. Do not trade Tee Higgins.